Okay, so then we've got this other thing that is not the physical geometry, not the reference planes, none of that, dealing with the creation and the modification of the family. There is data as well. Every family has a data associated to it, right? And the family tags, like when you hit the door tag, it's reading the data of the family. Now, the family I can set the data right now from, I gotta get to the family file. This is a family file. Yep. From my family types, I can set some of that information right here. So if I load in, well, that's a good keynote right there. This family with all this information on it, it's got the data now. I can load that into the project, yes. But there are many, many things that this data could be dealing with, right? I've modified the family file. It's giving me information that's dealing with the family as a whole. You got the type mark. That's what type information, what door type, what window type, versus the instance information, which is what's your mark, what's your actual door number. So if I look at the door tag, which I don't have a door tag there, let's go ahead and look at the door tag. I'm going to throw a drafting tag by category. Boom, there's the door tag. There's the wall tag. You got the window tag. All of those are doing what? They are reading data. So I can change the data live at the door tag, the window tag. You got to know what parameter you're modifying with a window. Quick Q&A. Let's test. Where am I modifying? What value am I modifying when I hit 14 there? It is a type parameter, because the way the tag is built, the tag is saying, don't look at the door number, rather look at the window type. Instead of looking at the window mark number, look at the type mark number. So you got to know what that family file, that template file, was used to build. And if you've got a question, that means that you haven't actually put the data in there at all. Because there's the type mark. Let's see if this is a type mark. Tag. We're about to find out. Is this the type mark or is this the type? The type mark or the mark? Sorry. Type mark or the mark? Survey says, which one? Anyone? Everybody should be screaming type, right? It's looking at the wall type. So you got to know the following. You got labels. They are looking at data in that family. And those labels are a whole different set of families that we will talk about when we will get to labels. And they are exciting. So, yep. Instance versus type parameters. We get this. If you have problems with instance versus type at this point, I would very much like you to go back and watch session 1 and 2. Because at this point, we've got to get into the closing, which is Will actually showing you all of the steps. We've got 15 minutes for me to walk through this entire family session. Before I begin, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, do you have questions? This is your chance. I am unmuting everyone. Any questions? Conceptually, are we good?
Conceptually, we're good.
Well, we're all good. Okay. Well, if you do not have the resource, it is here under Revit Families. You, of course, have to log in. Oh, yeah, of course you have to log in. And it does time out after a little bit of time. Read more. And down at the bottom, here's both the session family and the PDF and the briefing notes. I don't know if anybody's noticed the briefing notes. I would highly look at this. Take a look at the briefing notes. The briefing note's going to give you the terminology, the process points, final thoughts, what's actually going on in the whole project. That's the idea. And then we have the PDF as well. This is the document I'm about to go through. Just wanted to point it out to you. Okay. Shall we begin? Boom. First and foremost, when you're dealing with any family creation, close everything down, start from scratch. I tend to open a project first. I don't know if that's something you do or not, but because I'm jumping back and forth, I'll load the family in. So some people have a project started beforehand, some people don't. The important thing is that you get the right template file, though. You don't need a project open in order to start a family file. So I'm going to start a new door file. And it's giving me some content. And if I look in 3D, right, it's got some other things. If I look in an elevation view, it's got some other things. I'm going to window tile and turn shading with edges on all. Shortcut, SD, shading with edges, just so you can see. And what do we see? We see, oh, we've got stuff we don't need. Because we need a CMU door. And we want to be able to measure not, the wall doesn't stop there in a CMU door, does it? No, it stops on the outside. Why? Because, oh, we're dealing with CMU blocks. We don't want to have to shave stuff off of a CMU block. We understand this, I hope. My content says, clean the family file. And that's what I mean by clean the family file, right? Deleting parts of the family template. Clean up stuff. We don't want anything in here. We're going to start from scratch. Symbolic lines. You don't necessarily have to go all the way to scratch like that. You can leave, if you want, just some of the reference planes, but honestly, it's up to you. Let's begin. Reference planes. Left, right. I'm hoping that you know how to do reference planes, so I'm going to go all the way down to right about here. So there's going to be a left reference plane, there's going to be a right one. Again, always make sure that you're naming your reference plane. And element properties right. Let's look at this though. I said name them up here, and then I immediately said set the reference is to something else. This is totally different. What I have highlighted here, set reference is, different than the name. Got to be critically knowledgeable here about this. I don't know what that term means, but whatever. You want to set it to, again, you select the reference plane, right-click, element properties, set the reference is the left side of the door. The reference is the right side of the door. This is on top of saying there is the right name and the reference is right. There is a big difference here. Then we do the mention and equalize, and we set all this up. We've got two reference planes. So here we go, reference plane there, boom. This is going to be the interior side of the frame. Let's go ahead and dimension and equalize. 1, 2, 3, EQ. This is going to be what my width, and then I want to also be able to control these reference planes here. You can do all that at once. There's no reason why you can't. So I've got all of them set up. Now I'm going to clean up the last little bit. This needs to be 2. This needs to be 2. And when do we add the parameter? Okay. So we've done this in the floor plan. Let's do this in the elevation as well. So from the floor plan, oh, don't forget to add your parameters. Let's go ahead and use width. Boom. Oh, what?